Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Bargy Tinkering, headed to the range. So, I got a fun one for you guys today. I'm going to be doing what I'm going to term as an ammunition audit. So, this is going to be taking factory ammunition from various companies, their premium line as well as their low-end budget-friendly line. And I just want to see, okay, is there a legit difference? Now, my biggest things that I really want to focus on are the ES and the SDs for this ammunition. Looking at group size, it'll be 20 shot groups. I'm going to shoot all 20 loads from this box. We are just going to see what you're going to get. And yeah, there could be some like more statistically correct stuff to do, but this is just a practical situation that most guys are going to run into. We will look at the group size. It's just going to be dependent on my rifle. It's a Winchester XPR and 30-06, so it is a 24-inch barrel. So some cool comparisons we'll be able to do. Today's just what I can find on the store shelves. We're going to go with Federal. We got Federal on the regular soft points as well as their premium line, and these are with 180 grain nozzler partitions. Now I'm going to kind of stick in the 180 grain range on these 06 loads just because you have a little bit of a wider variety on your premium options, and just kind of stick in that grain range. And it doesn't matter the manufacturer, they're going to have something in that grain range. Usually that's going to be a soft point of sorts that's going to be in their cheaper line around that $30 range, as well as something more premium like an ELDX that's advertised AccuBond long range, which is 190, which is close enough. These partitions, it's in Federal's premium line. I mean, they're a premium soft point to go from there, but we'll just be looking at that SDs, ESs, and see what is factory ammo really giving you. Is hand loading really worth it? But my 06 24-inch barrel will be able to see what is the average velocity out of that box, and is it comparable to the average velocity I get? What's its, say, what is the distance in averages? So how far is the average off? And we'll go from there. But anyways, guys, I will see you at the range. Let me arm it. Alrighty, guys. So, 06, starting with the Federal. Let me get all set up. Well, this one's going to be the left target. We'll do 10 shots, let it cool, and do the next 10 shots. Last 10 shots of the Power Shock.
Okay, everybody down here, because everybody's got to hear this, so they know.
Alright, walking down, we're going to look at these 20 shot groups. There's a friendly face. Familiar friendly face. Here's that Federal group. 20 shots. For those of you who have never seen 20 shot group, there you go. looks like Swiss cheese. But that's with the Federal Power Shock. I will be shooting the Federal Nosler Partition Premium ammunition next. All right, guys, on to the Partition. This is the Federal Premium box right here. We will see how this does. Is premium ammunition worth it? We'll be looking at consistencies and all that fun stuff. Here's the wonderful Nosler Partition. Yeah, not shooting too great. First 10 shots. Got a little group right there. All right, last 10 of the Partition. Give me a shirt. Okay, cool. I'm gonna be recording the velocities, so I don't miss one. Here's that 20 shot group of that Nosler Partition and Federal Premium. Looking at the Power Shot group, we're about 2.5 inches tall and just over 2.5 inches wide. Really close there. Let's go look at the partition load. So looking at this partition group, we're about 5 inches, 5.5 inches tall and 3.5 inches wide. Almost 4 inches wide. Not the best. My God, probably just didn't like this ammunition, which is okay. It happens. But let's go take a look at the numbers. Let's see what the velocity is saying and what it kind of means for us if we're looking at the sample data and if we're going to be buying multiple boxes of this ammunition. I got this data right here. Threw it together. Got our Power Shock and our premium partition ammo from Federal. And we're going to be going over just these raw numbers on the velocity. So we got our averages, extreme spread, our standard deviation in reference to the sample size, our maximum velocity from our samples, our minimum velocities. And then if we were to kind of look out with the bell curve and put control limits on what we would expect to see for 99% of our ammunition, from what was given, now this isn't 100% representative of the population data on these given lot numbers. This is just a little bit more on the speculation side in reference to the sample that we got. Now, if we were to go with a larger sample size, once we start getting 30 samples and above, then we can more and more closely say it's representative of the population data. But I'm not made of money, and I'm not going to shoot a total of 80 rounds to get that data. We're just going to go off of this sample size and kind of dive in, see what's worth it. So Power Shock versus Partition averages 27.26 for the Power Shock, Partition 26.63. Extreme spreads of 93 and 67. Standard deviations of 23.43 and 17.2. You can look at the max and mins and kind of go from there. What's impressing me about this, outside of the groups, if I were just looking at this raw data, I would be gravitating towards that partition. Now, yeah, there's a 60, pretty much rough number, 60 foot per second difference in the average velocity. That's all fine and dandy. Extreme spread's a lot tighter, which is what I would want to be expecting out of some premium ammunition, and the standard deviation is also 6 feet per second lower in comparison to that Power Shock. Just a couple other differences that you notice from Federal's brass is The premium is a nickel plated, and you get your quote unquote premium bullets. So if we're looking at that, we're taking our average and we're going to our control limits. Now, these control limits, this is, like I said, not representative of population. I don't have that population data. So this is a little bit more on the extrapolation type of thing. So take it with a salt lick. So if we were to go and say buy another box of ammunition, it would not be surprising, say, with this lot of power shock, to get close to 2,800 feet per second with a minimum around 2660, 2650. So an overall extreme spread of almost 150. That wouldn't be surprising. 99% of the shots are more than likely, based off of this sample data, going to land in that 150 foot per second extreme spread. Not necessarily the best. Now, if we go over here to the premium ammunition, kind of looking at the same thing, we're pretty much 100 feet a second. 103 is what the numbers say, but pretty much 100 feet a second from, say, 2610 all the way up to 2710, just for rough numbers. 2714, 2611 on your max and mins. So what I'm doing to get these, if I didn't explain it earlier, is I'm taking average and I am taking 3 times the amount of the standard deviation. And this comes from the bell curve. From your average, 3 standard deviations up and 3 down, 99% of your population will be in that standard bell curve situation, or standard bell curve. To make sure everything shrinks down, you really want to shrink the standard deviation, and in turn, that will shrink your extreme spread. So just looking at the sample data, the premium ammunition, in my opinion, is worth it if I were just strictly looking at this data. Now, obviously, I have to go and test it, see if my rifle likes it. And I can say I probably wouldn't pick up this partition ammunition for use for hunting based off of the group I just got, because I have a 5-inch group to deal with. That's not what I'm looking for. If it was the only box on the shelf, I'd grab it and I'd keep myself within 100 yards and make sure that's the only shots I'm going to take. I'm going to be responsible with it. Now, with this power shock ammunition, where it's around that 2.5-inch size, I'll stretch it out to 200 yards, but I will still stay within that 200-yard mark. I'll be responsible with it. We can take this, we can understand stuff. I'll still have good impact velocities. The partition, it's going to fragment, it's going to push through because it keeps that, I guess, partition there. It's going to do well. This power shock, it's going to pretty much do the exact same thing. I'm not going to be worried within those realms for hunting. But anyways, guys, let me know what you think about the video. Let me know specifically what brands you want to see next. Federal, it was just what was on the shelf at my local sporting goods store. I do want to know what you guys want to see next. Do you want to see Winchester? Do you want to see Barnes, Hornady? Let me know which brand you want to see next, and I will for sure be doing this. And we're going to keep with the 30-06 180 grain range, because that's where we can see a lot of premium ammunition, mainly the ELDX in Hornady's line. So I will talk to you guys later, and we'll see you on the next one.